There are exactly 5 things that you need to be sexually successful with women in order to get laid with multiple women, bring women into your sex life, better women, more attractive women. There are just these 5 things. All 5 are very important. I've mentioned them in the past before. In this video, I'm going to go into detail about them. And in terms of what they are, why they're important, which ones are more important than others, I'm going to cover all that right now. Here are the 5 things, listed in no particular order, and that's important because you need all 5. Confidence, outcome independence, game skill, maximizing your physical appearance, and putting in the numbers. You need all 5 of those things. Now, let me define each one. First, confidence. Confidence means that you know you have the ability to handle whatever. If you go on a first date with a 10, you know you have that ability to handle that date okay. Doesn't mean you're arrogant, doesn't mean you think you know everything. It means you believe, rightly or wrongly, you can have false confidence, that you have the ability to handle X problem or X scenario. That's what confidence means. You're confident in yourself. Make sense? Very simple. Outcome independence, perhaps even more important with women. That is where you do not give a shit about any one interaction or any one scenario. So here's my example, and this is literal. That means you have a first date with your version of a perfect 10. When you're driving out to that date, to walk into that bar or whatever, you do not care how this ends up. If she says, fuck you, you're an asshole, and throws a drink in your face and walks out of the bar and never see her again, you don't care. If she's very nice and very sweet and you schedule a second date, you don't know what the deal is, you don't care. If she says, oh my God, you're the man of my dreams, and she rips off all of her clothes and jumps on you, has sex with you right there in the bar, you don't care. You do not give a shit. If you're like, oh man, I'm so excited for this, that's not outcome independent. If you're like, oh man, I don't want to screw this up, that's not outcome independent. Oh man, I hope this works, that's not outcome independent. That is outcome dependent. Outcome independence is, as I've said many times in my books, my courses, my blogs, my videos, outcome independence is when you don't give a shit how the date ends up or how the relationship ends up. You're nice and polite. Let me throw that in there. You are nice and polite. You're not a dick. You are nice and polite, but it's very clear to her through your vibe, through your body language, things you say, things you don't say, that you really don't care if this works out or not. You're cool either way. Outcome independence is the single most attractive, non-physical quality men have to women. Women will be attracted to you and they won't even know why. And the more attractive a woman is, the more outcome independence works. Outcome independence, when it's real, or at least when it looks real, you can fake outcome independence if you're good. Outcome independence, when it's actually real, actually works better on women who are 8s, 9s, and 10s. Because how do men behave around 9s and 10s? They're slobbering all over them, aren't they? When you show up and you don't give a fuck, she's like, why doesn't he care about me? Well, this is weird. And now she's turned on. That's how this works. Okay. Next one, game skill. For lack of a better term, this is pickup artist stuff. Now, not all pickup artist stuff works. And you'll have a lot of MGTOWs and red pill guys and all those say, oh, this game doesn't work and pickup artist is a bunch of bullshit. And some of it is bullshit. A lot of it isn't. A lot of it works. I am the example of the guy who back in 2007, I was divorced, middle-aged, beta male dad with no experience whatsoever. And I got to guru level success with women in under 2 years. And a lot of that was because of game skill, things I learned and things I tried that actually worked. So game skill is a factor. Game skill is real. Next one, maximizing physical appearance. That does not, now notice I said maximizing physical appearance, not physical appearance. If it was just physical appearance, then only Brad Pitt would get laid and no one else would get laid. That's not how this works, right? Haven't you seen many ugly guys, or I've seen a mountain of these guys, average looking guys bang hot girls without paying them? Have you ever seen this? I've seen this over and over and over and over and over again. So it's not about physical appearance. It's about what? Maximizing your physical appearance, taking what you've got and maximizing what you've got. Your hair, your skin, your shirt, your pants, your body language, your posture, your grooming, your teeth, whatever you do, your skin, getting more tan or whatever you can do, you maximize what you've got. You cannot control your age. You cannot control your height. These things you can't control. But guess what? You can control everything else. If you're going bald, you can fix that. If you got fucks up teeth, you can fix that. If you're chubby, you can fix that. It's not easy, but you can. By the way, I did all these things. I addressed my hair. I addressed my teeth. I addressed my weight. I addressed all these things. I addressed how I dressed. Maximize what you've got. Don't sit there and say, I'm ugly, no one likes me. That is beta male pussy shit. You can maximize what you have. I'm only 5'7". You can be a decent looking 5'7" guy and get pussy. I know them. You don't just say I'm 5'7", I can't get laid. All right. Last one is putting in the numbers. The man who puts in more numbers is going to get laid more than the man who doesn't. It's very simple. It's basic math, and it's accurate. So if you have two low average guys with low average game, low average appearance, but one guy hits up 10,000 women and does it in a reasonably calibrated way because he's using some game skill, and the other guy hits up 4 women, guess who's going to get pussy and guess who's going to be jerking off to porn and not getting any sex? Put in the numbers. Even really good looking guys. I've seen this, who don't put in any numbers because they're scared or they're busy with work or whatever. They don't get laid either because they're not out there actually putting in the numbers. Online dating, day game, night game, however you want to do it, that's irrelevant for this video. Cool? Cool. All right. Now, let me ask you a question of those 5 things. Why don't most men get laid today? Most single men, I should say, and actually most long-term married men too, because long-term monogamy doesn't work. Why is it that most men don't get laid or don't get laid very much? Let's analyze this. Of those 5 things, most men, okay, in terms of average typical guys out in the world right now in the Western world, of those 5 things, which ones of those 5 things do they have? The typical average guy, what does he have those 5 things? Confidence, outcome independence, game skill, maximizing physical appearance, putting in numbers. Which one of those 5 ones or which ones of those 5 ones does he have? The typical guy. It's a trick question. The answer is none. He is not doing the typical average guy. How confident is the typical average guy? Not at all. How outcome independent is the average guy? Less than 0. What kind of game skill does the average typical guy have? None. In terms of maximizing physical appearance, what is the typical, not the cool guy who goes to the bars at night, the typical average guy? He looks like shit. He looks like a bum. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care how he looks, right? Putting in the numbers. The typical average guy, how many women is he hitting up on a typical regular basis? 0. So there's no wonder why most guys don't get laid. They're not doing any of the 5 things. Any. So if you just start doing some of the 5 things, you're not doing any, guess what? You're probably going to get some results. Let's see. If all you did was jack up your outcome independence a little bit and a little bit of your game skill and did nothing else, don't put any numbers, don't work on your confidence, don't really change how you look, you'd probably get laid just from women you know or women at your work. I've seen this. So that's the beauty of this. It's not that you do all 5 of these things. You should. But if you're doing 0 and you start doing just 1 or 2 or 3, you'll get some results. Not a lot, but you'll get some. Now, here's my example. So when I got started back in 2007, divorced, beta male dad, middle-aged dad, thinning hair, 10 years out of practice because I had been monogamously married for 10 years. I didn't cheat. What did I have? So here's what I had. I had confidence. I had some confidence because I was in my mid-30s. I was already making a 6-figure income, already a successful businessman to a degree. So I had that level of confidence. I didn't have any woman success, but I had some financial success enough I was able to carry myself with a little bit of confidence. Outcome independence. I had some, but not much. The only reason I had some is I would go on the dating sites back then and I would just see, pages and pages and pages of girls. I said, well, geez. If I go on a date, one doesn't work, I got pages and pages more. So that gave me some outcome independence, but not a lot, okay? How much game skill did I have? None. Didn't have shit. I read some of David D'Angelo's newsletter emails back in 2006. That's it, man. The rest was just stuff I was guessing and stuff I was copying from like movies and crap, most of which doesn't work, those kind of things. Maximizing physical appearance, a little. Not much. I would try to wear what I thought was a decent shirt. I used to wear shirts like many men that were way too big for me. I didn't know how to fit my shirts because men don't know how to dress. And I would put on like a suit jacket, but not a tie. And that's about it. I didn't do anything else. And putting in the numbers, that I did. I fucking put in the numbers. I cranked those numbers. Guess what? And I've done I did a whole series at this channel of 3 podcast videos in a row of my experience that first year. I got results. I got laid. Now, it wasn't crazy good, but I got results. Compared to a lot of divorced beta male dads who never get laid, they go years and years and years. They might get some, fat, ugly girlfriend for a little bit, and that's it. So I didn't have all those things. I just had a smattering, but I still made it work to a degree. Now, when I got good is when I had all 5 of those things. Total outcome independence. So today, let me rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10, which is what you should at the end of this video. Confidence. My confidence today is a 10. Or, sometimes 9.5 depending on the scenario, but it's very, very good. Outcome independence today is about an 11. I actually have caused little problems in my life because I give so little of a shit about anything. It's wonderful. Game skill, 10. 10 or again, 9.5 depending on the scenario maybe. Maximizing physical appearance. In terms of maximizing what I've got as a 51-year-old overweight man, I'm Brad Pitt compared to the typical American 51-year-old overweight man. And again, I've talked about this. You compare yourself to people like you. Now, if you compare me to Brad Pitt, I'm nowhere near there. I'm nowhere near. If you compare to Tom Cruise, but I don't need to be Tom Cruise, as I keep saying. I've maximized my physical appearance. Now, are there other things I could do? Yes, other things I could do. My eyebrows need to be microbladed again. I have little, very thin, grayish eyebrows. So in about 2 days after this video, I'm going in to get those microbladed. So soon in some videos, you'll see some dark, dark eyebrows. Yes, but that's my point is I go and I take care of these things. Make sense? Let's see. Putting in the numbers. Today, low, but I don't need to anymore. So the beauty of putting in the numbers is once you get to a certain level of game, or not level of game, level of female lifestyle, you don't need to put in numbers anymore. If you follow my models, Alpha Male 2.0, rosters and things like that, you don't need to put in numbers. You're going to start dating lots of girls and you don't need to. So today, I don't need to put in lots of numbers. I already have lots of numbers. I have lots of FPs plus my wife. Let's see. So what is the most important one of these 5? Here's a trick question again. All of them. There is no one that's more important than the other. They're all critical. You need all of them. Now, I know you're going to ask me to comment. Well, Caleb, come on, man. If someone put a gun to your head, what would you pick? Probably, if you put a gun to my head, it would probably be confidence in putting in the numbers, because you could be confident and put in the numbers and have the other things somewhat lacking and get some results. You can even have low outcome independence, because Alpha Male 1.0s have high confidence, low outcome independence, and they get laid. So if you have confidence, you put in the numbers. Even if you don't look that great, you might get something. That guy will eventually get laid. The guy with confidence and high putting in the numbers but low everything else, he will eventually get laid. Now, he's going to have a really rough time. It's going to be very hard work. He's going to have a lot of chaos, but it will work. So here's what I recommend you do. Take all 5 of these and rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. Even if that number is 1, be honest. Don't be too hard on yourself, but don't be too easy on yourself. But be as objective as you can. Pretend you're someone else ranking you, knowing everything you know. What is your confidence, outcome independence, game skill, not physical, but not how good looking you are, how well you've maximized your personal physical appearance, and how well you put in the numbers right now. And rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. And work to get those to at least an 8. All 5 should be at least an 8. All 5 of these are an 8, you're getting laid. You're doing just fine. You will have no complaints. Every guy on the internet who complains they can't get laid is nowhere near 8 in any of the 5. He might be at 8 and 1 if he's really lucky. Unlikely he has even that. Make sense? Those 5 things, that's what you got to focus on. I'll see you in the next video.